Hello. Hi. Whew. Let me see. Wave your hand if you missed me over the past few weeks, because I missed you guys. I did. This is it. This is the grand finale of season 2 for myself. But next week is when they say they drop the gavel. That's it. No more. No more. I mean, I just want to thank you all for tuning in every Tuesday and sharing your evening with us. Welcome to ChillaxCin. Who's here for the first time? Say something. I hope you all have something to drink because it's ChillaxCin. So we chilling with Cindy Ann. So just have something in your cup to drink. Take a sip. Just let's get ready. This is exciting. I mean, this is exciting. Liam said he was 2 years old back in 2010. I was 6. No. But that would have been good, right? So tonight joining me, we're going to talk about supporters because we know in anything, whether it's sport, whether it's life, whether it's whatever you do, you need support. And parents were a huge part of swimming or any sport, but in swimming, we had an iron woman. Avril was our iron woman. Avril, I hope you have your iron with you tonight to give me something. We can't hear you. I can't hear you. I'm not hearing Avril.
Avril, stop pressing the mute button. Let me do it, right? Talk now.
Okay. I won't have my iron.
All right, we'll give you 2 minutes to get it. Jessica, Jessica was the anthem woman. You know, you always have somebody to lead off the national anthem whenever, before they even touch the podium, you stood up.
How you mean?
I hope you have the lyrics to the anthem ready because we ending with that. Avril will give me something in the background. You giving us the anthem. We would like Jason to just log off and give us a chance so that you wouldn't ruin it. Hi, ladies. Oh my gosh. You remember your first time? Avril, you remember your first time?
Yes, I do. Are you all hearing me?
At CARIFTA.
Your first time as a CARIFTA supporter. Thanks, Jason.
Are you all hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. I think my first time was really as a with Goodwill with the children, you know. But yes, I do remember the days of CARIFTA also.
So you started with Goodwill. Where was it, locally, or did you travel with the team?
No, I did travel with the team.
Oh, nice. So, and what you said when you got there and you realized it's no longer about Kareem, it's about Trinidad and Tobago. You know what I mean?
Yes, it was. It was very interesting, I must say. It was, and you know, it was uplifting. It was inspiring, because you know, at one point when you thought was your child, it become your children.
Yes.
You know, everybody's child become yours. You know, and to have to look out for everyone. You know, all these children around. You know, because at some time most parents won't. They used to go with their children. So all of a sudden you become the auntie or the mommy of most of these children that they look to. You know, and that was really nice. That was a nice period of swimming. You know, for us it was.
And Jessica, what was your first time as a supporter? Where were you? Which?
My first one was 2006 CICAN in Puerto Rico, because Vivian never made a Goodwill, and I didn't think she was ready. But when I heard CICAN, I say, wait. And then my husband had a policy. He never came to the pool. He never came to support. But he said his daughter wasn't going anywhere unless one of us traveled with her. So guess which one?
It was always you.
It was always me. Always me.
My first time as a supporter, Jason, I'll get to you because you've been a supporter for everybody from, I guess, from 19. What year you were born? 1951? 34, I'm sorry. You've been there from the get-go. I was there. I remember that my first Keegan made Goodwill. And it was home. It was actually in Trinidad, so I didn't have to travel. But it was nice because I mean you get to go with your cooler with your drinks. I don't know if that's what we should be focusing on tonight, but I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? You could have walked with your cooler. We had a nice rhythm section. It was just like you said, Avril, it wasn't about Keegan. It was about the team and just that team spirit. You know, Jason, what when was your first time supporting the team?
Well, I actually was on the team with Avril in 2005. I was the manager, and she was one of the chaperones. But actually, that was goodwill as well. And then my sister had made, well, it was a last year CARIFTA, and I don't think anybody in the family ever saw her swim at a CARIFTA. So I went up to, that was Barbados, I believe, in 2006.
I'm trying to remember which team was Keegan's first. I can't remember the year. But so let's go to Aruba 2008. I think we were all there. You all remember that?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Which one?
Aruba 2008.
Aruba.
Okay.
Yes, we stayed by Stanley. Was a lot of us stayed by Stanley. The dog house.
Beautiful dog house.
Listen,
Wow.
and that year we didn't even win.
No, we didn't.
But we behaved like if we
It
win.
was great. I think that is the year when most of us parents who had children in competitive swimming, that is when we gelled.
Yes.
Because when you stay in a house that had 27,000 rooms, you didn't have a choice. And I figure after that most beautiful experience, that is when we came together. You know?
So what do you think has changed? Because it doesn't seem as if that's happening now.
Well, all the games I went to, I mean, not only was my role the anthem singer, but I just undertook the role to ensure that every parent that was in the stand had something to do. You know, I remember telling Nicola Pear, "Where you waving?" Because she was very shy at one of her first trips. She say, well, I say, well, you have to get something. Because when the bacchanal start, you can't sit down like a chapati. You know? So I just undertook the role of making sure everybody had something. And
So you think
the parents gel like it was automatic for Avril to appear with iron.
correct.
I remember Jason used to find a drum. Even
A
if
bucket.
it wasn't
Oh, bucket.
a drum, and
A
nobody said
bucket.
that. Something with a drum with a handle. But
Right.
we ended up with a drum. I remember one year I borrowed the Jamaican's drum, right? And the competition was stiff between Jamaica and we kind of were not speaking. But when our children had to go up on the podium, I needed a drum. You know, and then I did teach them the anthem a little before games started. You know, we went across, we ate from them, two of us, because I remember Eddie came across saying he was hungry and the food didn't reach yet, so we got food from Jamaica, made friends, taught them a few words of the anthem and tell them we'd come back. And every day they learned a little more.
So what do you think is the reason? What is the reason that it's not happening now? You think it's because nobody's taking on that leadership role to kind of bring that together? Or is it just because of the women community has changed?
I think it'll be, I mean, honestly, I think it'll be unfair to ask them that because they're not a part of the community right now.
So none of you go to swimming to support now anymore? You don't go, when last have you been to meet Avril?
Oh, wow, the last meet I think I attended to was when was it CICICAN in Trinidad and Tobago? Was it? Yeah, I think I volunteered for that, and that was wow. I mean, it's like CICICAN in Trinidad and Tobago. I had to be part of it, and yes, I volunteered, and it was wonderful. That was my last time attending swimming anything in Trinidad, beside myself swimming.
Yeah. So Jason, what do you think? Because you're more on deck, you're more involved. What do you see? Because I remember I came to a meet at your pool, and I think I was announcing or something,
Right.
but the parents were on their phones. Nobody was cheering. The kids were swimming, and the DJ was blasting music. And at one point, I said to Jason, I'm like, ask the DJ to lower the music. It's not a party. You know, the parents need to be cheering the kids on. People would just, so maybe is it that because of phones, people are more locked into their phones and social media. We didn't have that as much when we were there. You know what I mean? We didn't have it.
So I guess we have to focus a little more on the children, I guess.
On the kids and on each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, is that what you think?
I can talk on a national perspective about the experience I had in 2018. And it was a shock for me that I couldn't even stay for the CARIFTA, to be quite honest, because I was in Jamaica, but not for CARIFTA. But CARIFTA was going on in Jamaica. Trinidad and Tobago was there. You know, you have to go and show your face a day. And I mean, back in the day, what used to happen right after the last race finished, somebody would be saying, okay, we have 5 anthems to sing. Like, prepare yourself to sing the 5 anthems, make noise or whatever. I'm telling you, when I went across there, sometimes we have like 5 anthems for the whole meet. And sometimes parents are not there to, you know, to embrace the little victories that we have. And I think we, as a community, not just swimming, but Trinidad and Tobago, have become a lot more selfish. And I think we don't look at the national interests as a people.
But even the coaches too, I found with the other mates, when you had a head coach and your assistant coach, for example, I mean, everybody knew the love affair between Edmund and Hazel, but when the 2 of them went with a team, they gelled. They were there for the kids, you know?
And then that, I mean, we're probably going into the next segment, and that's something that we had going in 2008, 2009, going into 2010 as well. And I think we had, there was a different spirit in the sport. There was a different spirit. I would say too that, like, for example, Stingray brought a different dynamic to the sport, right? It brought a new energy to the sport and the introduction of South swimming, and the South people had a vibe. And they came and everybody, you know, you go to a swim meet, you make sure you talk to people from every club and you give them good fatigue and you tell them all kind of strippiness about itself and whatever. But at the end of the day, what we've seen at the end of the meet, Trinidad and Tobago is getting a stronger team because it's good swims all over. And I think that environment, you know, it just helped everybody support and everybody come on board, and you saw it in the performances. I think we're going a little bit in the next segment, but that's what I think.
Because that's what I was about to say. So let me say this, because I'm thinking maybe because new parents are coming in, they are not seeing what we experienced, so they think this is the norm.
I guess so, yeah.
So if we were to say Avril, what can you say you benefited from being such an avid, like a supporter of the sport? What did it mean to you? And how did it help you as a parent with the sport?
Well, for me, the love of swimming was always there with Karima from the age of 3, kindergarten, straight up to 21. And, you know, for me, I still market swimming because it's a love I have for it. So through the years of being part of swimming, being a supporter, being a chaperone, you know, where my child was my child and other people's children were also my children, you know, because up to today, you still hear Auntie Avril, you would go out and they would meet you and they would greet you. So I think I gained a lot from it. You know, I gained a lot of friends where people didn't understand, how come this woman from a different club of rivalry going on? How? You know, they didn't understand that togetherness that we had, that we would put aside when it comes to supporting our children on that level. Everything went in the back burner. When we come back to Trinidad, we want our child to win when they swimming. But when we travel, we were one. Each one, everybody became one. And that was nice. I mean, it's a nice sport. I think it's a total rounding sport. It's an all-round sport. It's balanced. And I enjoyed it for years. I mean, we can be doing more still, but it's probably not, you know, available for us to that.
What would you say you gained as a supporter? And what would you say to parents of kids? How will you try to convince them to be more engaged, to be more involved? You know, what would you say to get parents hyped up for this role that they're now undertaking as a swim parent?
Well, my first experience, as I said, was at ChillaxCin in Puerto Rico. And I went there, but the club that I went with was not a club anymore because it was a TNT team. So I couldn't hang on to the people in the club because they had roles. So I now had to depend on the parents. And strange enough, I made friends with the parents from the South because a lot of parents from North was not at
So
that Puerto Rico meet. You know, like the John Williams and those are the people I made friends with. And when we came back to Trinidad and we had the first long course after that meet, because I was located in Woodbrook and the South and East children had far to go, the Friday and the Saturday night, my house was full. They
Right.
had boys in the hammock in the gallery. They had people on cushions on the floor. And Rayshan's bedroom was packed with people. And the next morning is one set of wet pillow I had to put out to sun and thing. These were children that were rival teens. But
Right.
when they came to my house, they were hugging up each other and laughing
that's
and
right.
talking.
Yeah.
It was a different, that was something that really touched me. And I say, you know what? I in this thing. I
Right.
in this thing for life. Because it was just not just a sport, it was a camaraderie they developed.
And a
And
community.
this, yeah, this batch of children, they were not limers in the mall. Remember the opening of Movie Tongue, that was something new. That did not attract them because their focus was on the swimming, you know?
So is it because for me what I gained as a parent and going to swimming, same exact thing as you guys, as well as it was a real good opportunity to learn different cultures for me. Like when I went to Barbados, so we went to Cuba or Jamaica, you were able to see the differences, how people, what they eat. You know what I mean? You get to meet other parents and you learn their routines with their swimmers, if it differ to your routines. And you know what I mean? So that allowed me to learn more about the sport, more about different cultures, see my son interact with other kids of other parts of the world. It was just an all-round wonderful experience. And so I just want to ask how you guys feel that we've not won CARIFTA since 2010.
But
Wow.
Cindy, you said something earlier that resonated. And I think that is one of the main things. I think Avril mentioned it too. When we go as parents, I went several times as chaperone. And, you know, when you go, you don't have a child there. I remember Rajan was telling the children, you know, my mother don't answer me when I say mommy, but if I say Auntie Jessica, she will ask, so who calling? You know? And every time we went on a team, she called me Auntie Jessica because something happened and you morphed into an auntie and you know were no longer a parent.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that in itself, you had a responsibility that was a fantastic responsibility. And it was, these children were so loving, they were focused, they knew what they were about, and they will come to you and they will open up and they will talk and they will say what they feel about what the coach said to them, and you will just have to tell them, you know, listen to your coach and not a coach.
Yeah. So I don't want
Okay.
this to, yeah, I don't want this to stray too much, you know, because we have to kind of just know we have to end because you know Jason times us. Don't feel we here all night. We just have a segment
It's swimming, you know, we just go by times.
by time when we do it. We don't want to get DQ. We don't want to get DQ here. Avril, what would you say to encourage other parents today? What advice would you give them? What would you?
Well, from my experience as a parent to not only my child but to other children, you know, become involved in the lives of the swimmers. You know, not only your child. Find out what's going on in other children's life, because you know, I can remember it had days when we had meets certain places in Trinidad that children weren't able to get to, but because of the togetherness we had, we would what they call it now when you have to share your car when you would share your
Carpooling.
vehicle, carpooling. Oh my God, we used to carpool. Sometimes the parents can't go. Okay, how you going? How you going? And we do these things, and by doing these simple things, we get to know the family, we get to know the children in particular. I think they need to open up a little more and, you know, welcome, you know, different children into their children space then, because I believe people now are a little more selfish, self-serving. You know, it's all about my child. I think when we started swimming, we all started like that. until we realize, hey, listen, it's not about us. We all huff and huff in the stand and these children hugging up and go down.
So true.
And we're like, okay. So then we learned how
Yeah.
to come together as a parent, as a auntie for the children. And I think that's what the generation now, the children have to realize, okay, it's not only my mom or my dad I can rely on, but I can rely on, okay, a competitor parent too.
All right.
So
before Jason have to wind us up one more time, I want you to tell me, Avril, I'm staying on you, and then I'll go straight to Jessica. Okay. One of your fondest memories as a supporter.
Okay, for me, Aruba was our best because for me, we didn't win, but on the last night of the meet, I think we agreed that we would invite all the parents that went to Aruba, wherever they stayed, who stayed where we stayed. A lot of us stayed together, and we had this big barbecue, and we had karaoke. Oh my God, that was like, yes, that was like, it was, nice. You know. And for me, the guy who had the guest house, he had me making a whole bucket of barbecue sauce for him to keep in Aruba.
Jessica, I will come to you.
Nice.
I remember that Aruba trip because I remember counting dogs and making fun of it. And Stanley became my pen pal. Stanley was the manager of the guest house, and he became my pen pal. We talked for years afterwards, you know.
What bothered me with Stanley is when he was selling, he had pies he used to sell, and he had chicken pies. And then when you ask him what was in the other pie, he would say meat. And he would never say exactly what kind of meat. And every 2 days, a dog went missing. I say, you know what?
That's why I counted dogs.
Oh my God.
Every night I will count the dogs.
Jason, what was your fondest memory?
That Aruba 2008 was, we were there when Trinidad and Tobago won in 2010, but it was something about that Aruba 2008 for the supporters. Regardless of, at the end of the day, you know, you would have certain stereotypes associated to certain groups.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Everybody was there, regardless of who swimmer was in the water. Everybody was supporting. I think that was Dylan's first meet, I believe. And I remember Tracy cried every race. Tracy cried every medal. Everybody dance, everybody support. We get the drum. Aruba people give us their drum. I think Paul Homer was there too, because he was beating drum too, I believe. It was just a great, great spirit. It transcended for a few years after, but
it did. Yeah. That year, I think, was the year Keegan won, I don't know, like 12 or 10 gold medals or whatever.
It was crazy.
It was, my favorite was Jamaica. One year we were there and we had a wicked rhythm section. That to me,
that was 2010. That was only one.
That was 2010. To me, that was because the rhythm section was on point.
Cindy, you were just uneasy with Stanley dogs. That was the problem.
Yeah, I don't like the dogs and the meat surprise of the day. I don't like dogs. So that's it. I just want to say to parents with kids who swim to get involved, as Avril has said, as Jessica has said, I just want to echo their sentiments. It's just so much more than being a parent of one swimmer. It's about being an aunt. It's about being, sometimes you have to be a doctor, a nurse for the kids too, an ear to listen to. So just get more involved. Put your phones in your handbags when you get to the pools and just watch the kids. I told them, watch the kids in the water as if it's your money swimming. You know, like if it's dollar bills floating in the pool. Because that's what it is there in essence. So pretend you throw your money in the pool and watch it, you know, watch some butterflies. Yes, and that's it. So this is it. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Avril. Jason, thank you. This is my last episode for this season. So, but you can follow me on Instagram at Cindy Ann Boisseau. You can follow me on Facebook, and hopefully one day come and see me perform live.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Be safe.
Say bye again, Cindy.
Okay. Bye again, Cindy. Bye-bye, everybody. Be safe. Take care.